Mm, 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 mm. Dun, 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 dun. Do, do, do. Coming back, guys. Sorry, just dashing off looking for my container. Here we go. I left it. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Hey LJ, how we doing? Hey, just quickly, LJ, how's the sound? Because I'm actually looking for my little sound device, and I want to make sure the sound's on form, but I reckon I've left it. I'm just going to check the, it's good, no static. Well, that's a great start. Sounds good, you reckon? I'll tell you what, give me just a moment, because I reckon I can get it just a little bit more pure. I'm just going to go down to the car and check it. 1 second. 1 second. Hey, not only did we find it, we also found a little packet of protein. So, wins all around for everyone. Okay, in here, this little one here. Jason, how you doing? Fun thing, Jason, this will crack you up. So, you've seen that logo, not the logo, more like the vinyl decal, whatever you call it, design of Stay Hydrated team. So that little piece that says Stay Hydrated team, I'm getting printed in frosting form to go on the wall of the studio, which I think is pretty funny. It's the one with a little kiwi, so it says Stay Hydrated, comma space team, and then it has a little kiwi bird there, and Sid Gower like subtly down the corner. But anyway, that is going to be in the studio in frosting, so that's pretty funny. It was between that and Paint Me Like One of Your French Girls, but I thought, if kids come, it's better for them to see Stay Hydrated over Paint Me Like One of Your French Girls, which is funny, but probably like a little bit too sassy. Alright, how are we on sound quality now? Did we take some steps in the right direction? I think we might have. With a bit of luck. So, thanks, Cutie. And hello, Perfume. So, what was I saying? Stay hydrated. On the studio, instead of Paint Me Like One of Your French Girls. Thanks, Jason. I reckon it's good. It wasn't supposed to be marketing. It was just supposed to be a, I don't know. I was sort of painting, throwing around paint everywhere, and that line was just something I knew I could say, and it was sort of like wear sunscreen. It just felt right to tell people something positive. So louder for sure. I'll tell you what, let me try this. I may have a little method for you. If I go like this, just down a little bit there. Sharma, leave your pillow alone. Now, so I just turned down the receiver a little bit there for you, LJ. It should have made a big difference. Got a little coffee, got a bunch of our binder, and we're just going to muck around with this one. First off with white. So previously we've attacked it with a whole bunch of colors and it's getting quite vivid, but in our little picture here, a lot more of this and a little bit over here has white in it. Cheers, Jason. You legend. Jason, you know I've got a bone to pick with you though, right? Jason, you've got a photo you owe me. But aside from that though, pretty exciting news. Hey Jules, I'm doing great. You got kicked out. I just said I adjusted the sound down a little bit in case you were finding it a bit too loud. In terms of merchandise, got the shop all sorted today, so that's all up and running, which is pretty cool. But I locked it. So that way it was for the subscribers, which I reckon is pretty fun. So that way, anyone who's been in support and things like that can get themselves some sick merch. I know I've got some bottles and things going in my center sacks, which is kind of fun. Now, the wild thing, without the mic, it was crisper and louder. What do we reckon, team? Do we like it right now, or was it better without the mic? Because we want to make sure we get it right. The other option we do have is I can actually, bada bing bug boom. The other thing we can do is I can actually turn down the sound or turn it up. And yeah, Ryan, we're on that buzz again. And Amy, sorry, missed your comment there. So in terms of buying the paintings, there's nothing currently available. And I'm currently tied up. Oh, that's a lie. There's 3 paintings in my house right now that aren't for sale. They're just in my private collection, so I haven't got them listed anywhere. But if you are after a painting, I can show those to you. Otherwise, there's some fantastic prints available via the website, via the link in the bio, and the lead time on projects right now, fresh projects, is about 25 days. 25 days. I'm a little bit behind. While I've been experimenting with these new techniques, rather than attacking commissions, I've fallen a little bit behind, but it's a good thing though, because these techniques, you've got to play. We talk about that a lot. You have to play. And hopefully these new techniques actually alter the way in which we do a lot of these commissions going forward. We'll improve it drastically. In terms of the life expectancy of the artwork, in terms of the fumes in the studio, all the things. I am, sorry, that would have been really loud, guys, sorry. I am 30 years old. 30 years old. Ooh, that's interesting. Guys, the surface, the tape will not stick to it whatsoever. That's fascinating. I'll get some fresh tape and give it another go, but the surface can't be stuck to. That's pretty interesting. Where do you put all the paintings you do? You're in Tauranga. Well, Amy, the cool thing about being in Tauranga is I can literally drop it off in person because one of the studios, the Corona studio, is in Tauranga. So, best thing to do, message me, email me, DM me, whatever platform, wherever you like. Everything's via the link in the bio. And I can send you through some of the works that I have in my foyer around the house. Honestly though, if you're after something quite small, because a lot of them are this size and up, If you're after something smaller to fit a space, prints are phenomenal. And a lot of the older ones are sold out. There's about 6 different prints available at the moment and like 4 on the way. But they go all the way up to A1, which is sort of this size. They go down to little A4s as well. So typically around the house, I have the big ones, but it's always nice to have some small ones. Typically I find entranceways into bathrooms, even in the bathrooms, on the walls, and hallways and things like that where you're much closer to it, smaller, and yeah. So I'm a big fan of those prints, but let me know and we can make a plan together. Is that close to you? Monique? Actually very close. I go past you on my way to Tauranga. So I'm based in Auckland. This is the Auckland studio. And the Auckland studio, be prepared, is about to get a serious upgrade. That's where the frosting on the windows and stuff's about to come in. So I'm pretty excited about that, but I'll keep you posted as things develop. I don't want to make a bunch of grand promises about what the studio is going to look like, and then for it not to. So, but I got high hopes for it. The Auckland studio is going to be nuts. Showcases. No, I just show paintings. I'm sorry. It's so bad. I've lost my trail of thought. In terms of showcases, a lot of the art's not around to showcase. I've only got about 5 pieces that I'm currently working on this house, 3 commissions that are taking up the start of this month, and then 3 pieces that I keep inside the house just for me. I find that if I let everything go, you get a little bit too empty. It's always nice to have some work on the go with you. On the go, but finished with you. So one that I've kept near and dear has been the surfboard. If you saw that one being made. It's called Hibiscus Surf, but I've got this slang nickname I call it. I call it Potato. Mark, cheers for subscribing, Mark. You're a legend. Also, Mark, just FYI, I haven't released it in the Discord chat yet, but up and coming in the Discord chat is the code for the merch store on the website. And with the merch store, there's no profit in that whatsoever. It's just literally at cost. And it's so that if you're walking around Chicago or New York or New Zealand and you see someone else with a Stay Hydrated Team water bottle, you'll know they could only have got that one way. Here we go. Monique, what if JC, Jeepers, in terms of any other kind of painting style, I like this format that I'm currently painting in. Fumes wise, it's perfect, but I'm a paintbrush guy. Always have been. There's an elegance to a paintbrush. It's very appealing. If I make a mistake, first off, I'm going to own up to it. Mistakes are kind of like, it's going to sound cheesy, but mistakes are kind of like, in a painting, are kind of like making a mistake in real life. First thing you do is own up to it. Don't beat yourself up about it. And then move on. And try and make sure that the best way you fix the mistake is by making 20 not mistakes, not continuing to focus on that mistake. Yes. The stuff's more liquidy. So I'm using this little bowl here, which does remind me of a Lion King Rafiki bowl. So I sort of feel like there's a primal element to it. You sort of grasp it, but different. Yeah, I'm excited, Jason. I'm really excited. It's going to look pretty cool. It's at the Crate. So if you were here originally, when I was originally up in Auckland, we were in a studio in a glass box at the Crate. Now, it's not the same glass box, but it is back at the Crate, which is pretty exciting. And I'm going back in there, and we're going to try and start a little painting community. So rather than just me in the studio by myself, We're going to see if we can't get a group of creatives and start actually forming a band of people, not just with art, but with design, with all sorts of creative outlets, or anything. It's a flexible office space. So the idea is we're after characters and people who like that environment. More about that than actually what you do as a study. Do I sketch before I start? No, I just love to make the mistakes, honestly. As bad as that sounds, I just love to make the mistakes. Because I think the mistakes actually, in a cheesy way, make the painting beautiful. It's like, wouldn't you prefer not to have the mistakes? Well, not really. I think they just have this overall impact on the picture. Like this arm, it's not perfect. Not technically perfect, but the mistakes in it make it even cuter in a weird way. The last time I did architectural paintings was in... Oh, no, sorry, architectural paintings. Like, yeah, I see what you're saying. Ooh, 6 months ago? 6 months. It's not my usual bag, but sometimes. I like... Jeepers, what do I like? Everything, guys. I'm a fan of everything. I don't really lock myself down to one thing. Yes, Jow. So it's a creative space, but it's not for creating. So my studio will be there, and people will be able to actually use it and use all the gear and things like that because it'll all be there serviced. But actually, it's more about creatives. So things like group chats, like fireside chats, artist AA meetings equivalent. And because, sometimes you do need to talk to other artists. Business chats, how to actually take your creativity to a level where you take it seriously. I think a lot of people have their creative side that they're trying to make blossom, but get immense imposter syndrome. So it's got nothing to do with the way you present to the rest of the world. First and foremost, how you present to yourself. And then once you nail that, it tends to trickle on to the rest of the world. Funny how that works. I do custom paintings. I do. Custom paintings are the best. The reason custom paintings are the best is that a lot of the time, when someone comes to you with a custom idea, they bring with it all their inspiration. And if you get all that person's inspiration, it's hard not to fill it, the painting, with joy and vitality. Just because the person brought it to the table. So as an artist, you can do your craft or your art form or your wild style, but you don't need to muster the inspiration as much because the client brings it. So you get to bounce off their inspiration. So that's inspiration squared, which I love. Where's the best place to order a custom painting? Link in the bio. That's the best place to go. And what are the pieces like? Again, link in the bio. You'll see my style. It's messy, it's wild, it's primal, it's raw. If you're into it, you typically love it because you sense that sort of wild, primal element to it. And if you're not into it, you'll hate it. You'll be like, he's breaking all the rules. He's not painting in the right order. He's not using the colors correctly. He's supposed to mix like this. There's methods and rules to the way you should apply paint. There's not, guys. There's no rules and methods to the way you should apply paint. I mean, surely if anyone broke that as a philosophy, it was Mr. Pollock, who just splattered house paint on giant sheets and called it a day. In the same way, you do you. See. Jason Pollock splattered house paint all over giant panels, and that was his painting technique. That's what he did. And people said, oh my God, you can't paint like that. You know who said that? someone far less famous than than Mr. Pollock. So, what am I saying when I say that? I'm saying, just like Mark said, you do you. Because at the end of the day, you may be onto something. Maybe onto something. If you're doing the real you, you are onto something. Kandinsky. We got a Kandinsky fan in the building. You know what a lot of the old masters had in common? They paint exactly as we're painting right now. If you didn't know, team, we're doing what's called egg tempera. I was using the wrong word yesterday. I was saying tempura, like the veggies. It's egg tempera. And what that means is it's actually egg yolks that we're painting with. And the beauty behind using egg yolks to paint with is that it's got a proven track record of lasting thousands of years. It keeps a beautiful color within the work. A luminous element comes into it. So typically back before the Renaissance period, a long time ago, they used, Monique, shipping overseas. Most of them go overseas, probably like 90%. So overseas shipping is not a problem. It goes in a big protective box. It gets wrapped and wrapped again. It goes with a group. Michael and Sharon do my shipping. They're a lovely couple who have a shipping company here called Pack and Send. And those two always, I've never ever had a painting I've had one painting get damaged and we were all scratching our heads, but we fixed it. It was just the frame. So that was fixable, but incredible. Yeah, so shipping overseas, no problem. Jow, yes. So this here, I'll bring it close. You see that? How it's white and blue? That's actually egg yolks. You'd be saying, well, why isn't it yellow? Well, the yellow pigment in the egg yolk gives away immediately to the liquid pigment or the powder pigment that you add into it. So, no acrylic whatsoever. This is called egg tempera. So this is a completely ancient technique which got washed out just prior or during, to be fair, the Renaissance period. And the reason it got washed out is people liked oils more because they stayed open for longer. And there was a attraction to the detail you capture with oils. Whereas this stuff dries within a day. And with oils, you want to spend days and days and days capturing one little detail. So, egg tempera went out of fashion. But famous paintings that used egg tempera, The Last Supper, the famous religious work, the Mona Lisa, often said to be the greatest painting of all time. These are all egg tempera. And the fantastic thing, especially bottom right at the trans colors. The trans colors in the bottom right. You mean down here? Typically, funnily enough, unintentionally, I went and bought the pigments and I thought, I want to experiment first, so I'll buy pigments that I like. And I ended up completely coincidentally with 4 shades of blue, about 6 shades of purples and pinks, well, purples and magentas, and then 2 whites and a black, and 2 yellows. So I went for all the primaries, but I definitely landed on more pinks and reds. So that's why when you look at this, you can see those blue shades coming through, but there's definitely a spectrum of those warmer pinks and reds. That's just my style. I just like those colors. I think there's more depth that you can capture in blues, certainly. But in terms of the vivid nature and beauty of pigment and paint, I don't think there's anything better than magenta. I don't think I can, because you've got to hear it from me guys when I say I'm standing close to the artwork, this far away from it all the time. And so I'm seeing so many colors. But for me, the color that really pops, that has this pigment in it that I just cannot escape from, it's magenta, which is a slightly deeper version of pink. Garlic bread, you're not watching the painting. Well, I recommend, best thing to do, garlic bread, is first off, check on the garlic bread if you're cooking any. And I'll stand back. Voila. It's very messy. This is our little caterpillar. It'll grow into a butterfly. You watch it. And egg tempera does create an amazing luminous effect. But if you apply too much, if we go too thick, what will end up happening is, pardon me, it'll crack. Pardon me. But, and flake away. So as soon as we want to get too thick, we'll start adding on something slightly different from egg tempera and playing with it in different ways. Hey, Super, how we doing? Let me come down here. Da-da, ding, ding, dung. Where's the best place? Rurally. Yeah, 100%. So I live about 30 minutes out of town. So I spent most of my day in town today, and I come back out here. So I live in North Auckland, where the studio is currently based. And come out here, hang out. Get to be away from all the traffic and noise, chaos of the city, the traffic. Just get to enjoy myself out here in what's semi the middle of nowhere. Semi the middle of nowhere. Hey, Albert. Okay. And, oh, sorry, LJ, you were talking about possibly doing some egg tempera painting or trying it, putting it on your bucket list. I will release a reel or a live video in the near future of how to make it. And it won't be the be all end all. It won't be like, this is the best technique, don't do anyone else's. There's a million techniques of how to do it. Some people add in chalk and some people add in different things. The egg tempera, for me, I do it very, very raw. So my egg tempera is, first off, I'm focusing less on the additional ingredients I add into it and more on the eggs themselves. So I like to get nice, free-range, fresh eggs. For being really picky, I found that the free-range eggs from Levin in New Zealand typically make a good tempura. I've only made about 6 tempuras now, but those ones slapped. And I'm finding definitely free-range is fantastic. So I've got chickens down Tauranga, so I'm looking forward to actually using the eggs of chickens that I own to then make the egg tempera, to then make the paintings. I reckon the thing I like about that is it does feel rudimentary. It does feel primal. So it's quite exciting. Adam, yes, I am, but 25-day lead time. So we're a little bit behind right now. I've been experimenting with new techniques, going to weddings and things, and I'm a little bit behind on my commission front. I'll catch up, but 25 days, baby. That being said, LJ, it's not a deal breaker. So if you can't get the best quality eggs, this is just me saying, it's like brands. I have a favorite brand. So what? If you have to use regular store-bought eggs, go for it. It'll still work 90% as well. And arguably have some other traits which might be better. So don't listen to me completely. Sorry, Vernon. Welcome on in, Vernon, you champion. Long time no see. And Mark, you're getting married next year in June. Well, first off, congratulations, Mark. That's fantastic news. June next year. Pretty funny to gate crash your wedding. But I don't think I'll be in the States. I also like your style, though. Well, you're going to see it soon enough, actually, team. Next month is November. And that means we'll be doing something special. We'll be doing a painting for charity during that month. I haven't decided what it is yet. Thanks, Vernon. I haven't decided what it is yet. But we'll talk about it on the broadcast channel, come up with an idea, and then we'll grow a mustache, basically. Probably a cowboy with a mustache, to be honest. Make the painting, and hopefully raise some money for charity in the process. So that'll be the plan. But again, Very, very loose. I'm shooting from the hip like a cowboy. And the goal is, to actually come up with something that'll actually be, I'm trying to save one painting slot in November to do something charitable like that. Because I also think it'll be really fun. Cheers, Vernon. You absolute legend. I'll just scroll up here to see some comments. 1 second. So, anyway, LJ, we will test the theory of whether Seb looks good with a mustache, because I'll actually have one in person. So there'll be a whole bunch of new fans who are like, does he always have a mustache? Has this always been the case? And we'll see how much of a mustache I can actually grow in a period of, how long do I have? 30 days. I reckon it'll be all right. Well, super. I'm going to have a mustache on your birthday. It'll look pretty funny on this live, though. It won't be the full beard. It gets too itchy for me under here, but I'll do the mustache. And so, luckily, I don't have flat whites or milky coffees. But if I did, you'd probably find I'd get this little milk mustache every time. So, we'll see. Start now. We're not going to start now. It's a November painting for November. So, I'm just letting you guys know where my head is drifting towards, what I'm thinking. But Movember is a charity thing that New Zealand does. I'm not sure if it happens all around the world. And I think we can use paint and facial hair to do something fairly fun. Start now. No. Oh, that's the rule though. You have to start growing it in November. So starting early is cheating. So on the 1st of November, 28 days, we start. As fun as that is. Yes, I did indeed. So I missed the name of that person, but yes, I do have chickens in Tauranga. No, these eggs I'm currently using are not from those chickens. Yes, I will let you know the moment we are using those eggs, because that's fun. And yes, going forward, if this becomes the standard method, I will stop buying them from the supermarket and start using my own eggs, because then I can perfect the diet to put the chickens on. Probably, figure out what makes the best quality eggs. Obviously, very healthy chickens, and then we can start painting with these gourmet custom eggs. But this is just me looking into the future there. The thing that gets me most excited about the stuff is it's completely chemical free. It's completely natural. It lasts indefinitely, and it's very, very strong and durable and keeps its color beautifully. Apparently, it keeps its color the best out of all the options out there. Even oils will gradually yellow over time, but not this. This will hold it. No, he's not. So I am from the Bay of Plenty. Te Awamutu originally, but it's all there on my About Me page in the bio. So I was born in Te Awamutu. I've then lived in the Bay, and then last year I moved up to Auckland. So there's a bit of a journey going on, but nevertheless, pretty fun. But one day I'll go back to the Bay with a bit of luck. I love the Bay of Plenty. Beautiful weather, lovely people, lovely coffee, all the things. I'm definitely Bay of Plenty, am I? You can just tell. Yeah, he's a Bay of Plenty boy. It's so obvious. I can spot a Bay of Plenty boy from a mile away. There we go. We got a bit more of a thinning liquid through here. We're going to get a bit more liberal with these brush strokes. Remember that a lot of this stuff has a transparent nature to it. So no matter how I apply it, you'll be able to see through the layers I apply, the colors I apply, to the underlying layers. And that's part of the beauty of this paint, that because it's has a opacity, it's about, I'd say about 70% to it. You can always marvel at what was underneath in the painting as you go. As you go. Cheers, LJ. Oh look, New Zealanders are nice. They're nice people, but I think that sort of happens when you're on an island, I suppose. You end up, I think everyone. I mean, it's the same size as Chicago, so not size, population-wise, we've got the same amount of people here in New Zealand as Chicago has. We've got about 5 to 6 million. I forget what it was since the last time I Googled it. And then Chicago's on about 5 million too. So it always blows my mind when I go to Chicago. Whoop. And look around that city and be like, this is the equivalent, the entire population of New Zealand. How wild's that? Pretty. Is my speaker playing up? Sorry, that was not you, Jade. You're all good. But yes, you did break the mic. Very disappointed in you. Good to have you here, by the way, Jade. Absolute pleasure. I was probably as soon as I could talk. Thanks, Ellen. As soon as I could talk, I wanted to paint. I think that's fair. But I think there's a difference, there's a couple of stages you leap through where you know what you want to be as a child. It's a little dream. And then you go through school. And then there's this, you force into it. You join reality. And some people put their dream on the shelf in order to try and combat or deal with the reality they now find themselves in. And sometimes they never make it back to their dream. I think Step Brothers actually put it a really good way when the guy talks about his dinosaur routine at the Catalina wine mixer. And he says, I'll do this, but then I'll come back to my dream. And funnily enough, we all think that, and then we forget how to do our dream. So, yeah, I guess I was just lucky because I actually left my dream altogether and did another job for a while straight out of university and made it back to it by chance to painting. And wondered why I'd ever left, but it's funny how that always works. Shelby's fantastic. And yes, of course. I always knew I wanted to be an artist. I do talk about, there was a little while there in the middle where I can remember I wanted to be a dinosaur scientist, but yes, it is. Yes, it is. So it's like a gold and a red. Black bunny. Gold and a red. Here we go. A little more of this. Stir this up in here. Again, this painting's getting dangerously thick now. But that's okay. I'm not too worried about making this one too thick. I want to experiment with how far is too far for one of these paintings. And that way, if we start using this for commissions, I'll know where the line is to be able to navigate it. And I don't want to put a limitation on myself, being like, oh, I can't go further than that, without knowing that there actually is a limit. That's a self-imposed limit on myself that could affect the whole painting. Yeah. So typically we're using acrylic in the studio, oils when I'm outside, but recently I've been thinking, right, pilgrimage, can we get rid of all the chemicals? And if I can, that's fantastic, because I want to get a method that I can then teach other people so that artists don't need to be around fumes and putting themselves in danger to produce art. I just don't believe that artists have to make art with sacrifice and pain and hurt themselves in order to produce amazing things like beautiful art. And if Mona Lisa, the picture of Mona Lisa, can be produced and not use any chemicals and use egg, the greatest painting of all time has been made with egg yolks, then I see no reason why we can't do it with a way that won't hurt us. So bear with me while I try and take this method to the next level. And if I get there, you best believe it, I'm going to share this with everyone. A safe, wholesome, everlasting method of producing a painting. Oh my God. I feel better. Kids in classrooms and things. Just not having to be around those chemicals. Being able to produce paintings safely with all the same beautiful effects. That'd make me happy. Is this live? Manteza? No, it's not. I'm so sorry. This is a recording, but I did decide that I'd say Manteza and ask that question by the pure chance on the hope that someone called Manteza would come on and ask that question at the exact time on the recording. And then I'd follow it on with this by complete coincidence, convincing that person that it wasn't a recording that was actually live, but it's actually a recording. It's a secret, Manteza. It's actually recording. So that's a good question. The paint mix with the egg, it's kept as raw as possible. So it's a 50-50 mix that I'm doing right now. It's a free range egg. It's a 50-50 mix between egg and water. And then I'm combining that, at the moment, I'm combining that with gouache, also known as gouache. And the reason I'm combining it with gouache is because the pigments themselves, in their powdered forms, can have a little bit of, the dust can get up and be dangerous. So I'm wondering, with a gouache, with pigment by itself, and pigment and there's my trail of thought there. Pigment and guar gum combined into the egg tempera may have just the perfect effect to allow us to paint with, avoiding dangerous dusts, avoiding dangerous chemicals, making work that lasts forever. That's the pilgrimage we're on, team. And that way someone can look at their painting too and say, there's no toxins in that. There's no fumes. There's no dangerous chemicals. It's safe. I reckon that's pretty cool. I missed some things there. How many plates or bowls have you used? Just this one. And maybe on one of your lives next time? You mean show you how to make the mix? Yes, absolutely. So, but I don't want to make a live video on it, or no, sorry, a reel on it of how I do it at this early stage, only because I suspect I'll change a few times. So I think it's kind of important that I perfect it first and then give you guys really, really good information. And now I'll say, this is where I feel like I've nailed it. This is where I feel like I'm on exactly the right track. And this is where I'm still working. So that way you can sort of pick up where I am, take my tips, start your own little quest. And once you go further, come back and tell me what you did. So we can both share in that cool moment together. There we are. But right now it's too new, too wild, too frisky. It's all the things. There we go. We're going to pause there on our lovely lady as that dries a little bit, and we'll leap on to the next one. Jacinda, welcome back. Good to have you here. And yes, Congrats, guys. We made it over 10,000 likes. That's pretty fun. That is pretty fun. All right. Let me take this one down. I wonder if we just keep swapping the painting every 10,000. That'd be pretty funny. Let's take this one and let's put Statue of Liberty down here. Good thing about this kind of paint too is if you want to wash your clothes afterwards, you literally just have to put water on it. The pigment can stain a little bit, but the egg, it washes out. Unlike oil paint, which just is impossible to deal with. It's not impossible to deal with. That's me using a hyperbole. It's can be worked with, but I find it tough. Right. Because I don't like to use all those dangerous chemicals to wash things. It's a little bit too tall. We'll come down a little bit. Down to there. There's a slightly different format, so down to there. A little bit further, actually. There we go, but no further than that, I don't think. Oh, yeah. How's that? How's that? I think that's perfect. Big parrot. Yeah. Just lower that one down just a little bit. There we are. And then we'll... It's the great question. It's the oldest technique of painting ever. And I'm kicking myself because I talk to you guys here all the time about being a... Seb studied art history. Seb knows about old painting techniques. Blah, blah, blah. Well, you know what? I studied egg tempera a lot. A whole lot. I studied the pre-Raphaelites. I studied the Renaissance period. I studied pre-Renaissance. And so I knew about it. And then I didn't think of it when I was trying to remove all the chemicals from the studio. Anyway, once a lady told me about it yesterday. Old lady who used wax painting said, have you ever considered egg? I'm like, idiot. Why did I not think of that? So it's a very old technique. They talk about a lot in art history because a lot of the ancient paintings use it. And the color effects it has are very different. So, oh, who's leaving us? Who's leaving us? Bada bing bong bong. I don't know who's leaving us, but I'll miss you. Have a lovely night. Right, parrot time. See my picture of the... Oh, your friend? Okie dokie. Okie dokie. Now, tomorrow, I've been checking the weather report. Tomorrow has a good weather report team. So we're going to get outside and we're going to start a few artworks, which I'm fairly excited about. So, a few artworks all in a hit. Get them started. Have some fun. Outdoors will be on Instagram, will be on TikTok, will be all over the show, which I'm looking forward to. Now, where am I going to put this? I'm going to pin this actually right here. Beautiful. Lovely. Okay. Okie dokie. Happy days. Let's step back here. Now, it catches the light a lot, this piece, but as we add more coats to it, that intensity on the gloss will tone back a little bit. And this is the first time I've applied egg over an altered surface like this. So we're risking it for the biscuit. I don't know how it's going to turn out. I'm excited, but let's see how we get on. I've never heard of Lucas Till. I've never heard of Lucas till now. Well done, Seb. If you stick the picture on top of your painting, doesn't it mark? Nah. Depends on the painting, guys. The old masters used to have sticks. I think some people still use them. They'd push against the artwork to balance their hand. I forget what they call those. They have a name. Something or other stick. That's not the name of it, but fantastic tool if you're trying to get really accurate, but not for me. Tape and things like that, depending on the tape. If you use a really strong tape, you can effectively ruin the work because it'll pull paint off when you pull it. But some tapes are actually just perfect for that kind of thing. Jacinta's onto my joke. My terrible, shocking, awful joke. Parrots Loki scare you. Yeah. There's a movement to them, which I guess is startling. It's takes some getting used to. I like parrots. I don't think I like them in terms of their body language as much, their nature, but I like them in terms of I think they have amazing colours. Videos of parrots. I don't mind a video of a parrot. There we go. Jaden, how we doing? I'm fantastic here. Just slashing on some lovely purples into this piece. Building up depth in the colours, bit by bit. Well, Jaden, what's interesting is a lovely lady by the name of Crystal was kind enough to give me some pictures of, guess what? A turtle. So I've got some turtle pictures, Jaden, and I'm hoping we can attack it in the very near future. If we lack, it'll be one of the ideas I put forward for November to the broadcast channel. And Jay Smith, I'm doing good. Paris Tower? No, I have not. But so in November, Jaden, I need you to keep your eyes out. And cheers, Jacinta. I've learnt the ways now. I certainly have. This painting here, we've had about, jeepers, 4 or 5 coats on it. And the goal's not to finish it though, Jacinta. We may finish it, but the goal is just to actually throw around some paint, play with some different techniques, and see what can get made as we just slash around some layers. There we go. The brush we're using is probably just a wee bit small for the job. We'll increase up the size. Here we go. We'll just get more delicate with how we apply the paint. There we go. To actually finish a painting, look, 5 to 20 hours. But as you can see with the Statue of Liberty, it's coming along just after sort of 3 hours. But there's there's 2 sessions in there already. And so 5 hours, but across 5 to 8 sessions is the right sort of way to view it. Don't view it in terms of total hourage, view it in terms of sessions, because sessions define layers. And once you get the layer count, your efficiency on the layers can vary so much. Sometimes you smash on a layer in minutes, other times you'll do it, it'll take literally a whole day. But you can only achieve so much in a single layer. So it's not the client's fault if it takes you the whole day to achieve a layer. So you just charge a layer at roughly 30 minutes to an hour. And then it's just your job. I mean, I say to do it as efficiently as possible. Well, who can do that with art? When it comes to art, sometimes it's efficient, sometimes it's not. You have not only a very rude name, but you're asking questions that have very little to do with art. But yes, I do try and keep myself healthy. I think that's important. I think one of the things I do when I paint is I stand on my feet all day. And if you've noticed when I'm painting, what are my hands doing? They're out like this a lot of the time. And so it's really, really important that actually I'm either doing something, my fitness, walking, lifting something, only because otherwise I'd be like, all right, guys, stop. I need a break. My arms are tired. Because when you're holding a plate up all day, it can get quite tough. And when you're painting up high like this, it can get quite tough. So there is, for this painting style anyway, a sort of buy-in level of exercise that it's good to have. But you don't need it. You're all good. Hello, Connie. Welcome on in. We're on a parrot buzz, Connie. Let me just read 1 second. Thought process, lines and texture. Honestly, I do every day about 30 minutes of correct, exact character painting. A little mannequin that I move around. So it makes me understand form and how to capture light properly and capture a figure. But in terms of painting right now, I look at the subject matter and then I find little shapes, hues, tones, and moments, and I just capture each individual one on the canvas, forgetting about the whole picture every time and only focusing on those one little individual moments. And then if I do that thousands of times, a picture starts to reveal itself. But only if I'm able to ignore the whole image and just focus on individual little strokes, one at a time. It's nothing to do with a singular moment. Oh, I'll use this color. Oh, I'll paint this perfect stroke across the surface. It's a culmination of hundreds and thousands, hundreds of thousands of little strokes, one after another, all with the same set purpose of seeing a picture come together. Here we go. I'll dab this across here. Beautiful. You can see how we have the ability to capture vastly better detail with the egg as well. This is something that the old masters will have enjoyed. It has the effect very similar to terps with oil, if not slightly more refined. Yes, you can. You can. But the thing is, I like the speedy dry times of egg tempura. I love it. I want the egg to dry fast so I can apply more coats and play around with more techniques. Linseed oil slows down the dry time. And there's just no gain in that for me. Well, actually, if you look at the bowl here, you'll see my red pigment there popping, and you'll see a little bit of purple at the back there. So we're using the same pigment. Now, one of the catches with the egg is I'm typically going from one color to the next, rather than getting a whole plate of colors and bouncing through them. So there's an element of planning that I now have to cater for. Do I like that? I'll get used to that, but that wasn't there before. Hey Tanner, how we doing? I haven't seen Tanner in here before, so that's a new name. Yeah, someone I haven't seen in a while. I haven't seen Two Studs Ranch. They must be busy on their goat farm. Goat ranch, sorry. Goat ranch. Lovely folks. Logan and his partner. They raise miniature goats over in America. Pretty cool. Here we go. Just take a little bit of this through here. Cheers, Taylor. Right. Now, the next thing we're going to do is that's bright, powerful vermilion. We want some lovely. It needs to go just a little bit more crimson, which is like cold red. So we'll add in the pink to it. A bit of pink. Hello. I studied art history in Otago. Otago of all places. Really good fun, actually. Really good fun. Amazing group of friends. Stayed on Hyde Street, the worst street. I loved every second of it. And more than, I learned a little bit in art history, but I learned more from my peers down there. The friends I made down there
grew me and challenged me and sort of made me into who I am today. Whether you realize it or not, you're at university there and you're actually having a profound impact on different people's lives. I can say that everyone I met down there had a profound impact on mine. So I wouldn't take that back for the world. Yeah, the Polytech and the university and the art courses and the art history, they shaped my art a little bit, definitely. But the friends, the peers, the ones I loved, who I spent all my time around, they had a profound impact. We went down to the wedding for a few of them recently. Incredible people, just incredible. I consider you'd be incredibly lucky if you went through your life and you made friends as good as the ones that I have from university. There's just nothing like them in the whole world. Here we go. Splashing this out here, building out the parrot. There we go, beautiful. Lovely. Is this the same parrot? Yes, it is actually, Jen. Well guessed. This is the same parrot. So I bring it out occasionally, play with the colours on it a little bit, throw around some extra paint, see what happens. It's a very low pressure painting. We're just dabbling with it. And honestly, as I add more coats, it just gets deeper, more crazy. Hello, Joshy boy. How you doing? Interesting. Huh. This gouache has a slight scent. I need to check why that is. Natural resins, which I assume is guar gum, but it has a slight smell. Very interesting. Hey guys. What are you to focus on? Well, the only thing I need you to focus on is focus on just chilling out, relaxing. Let me just slowly put together a painting. You can just see how it comes together. If it comes together. Probably. You got a good game there or a book. Something else going on. Do that and just leave them in the background. You'll know if I drop a plate, it'll make a loud clang. Or one thing that people do is if I can keep the place quiet enough, they can just put me on in the background, go to sleep. Now I'll just paint. And then when I stop and log off, they'll end up on some weird, crazy live stream. It's always pretty funny. Is it real? No. This is I know it looks like a photo, but this is just a picture of a parrot. It's not quite real, but I know sometimes I paint with such realism that people think that they're looking into the eyes of a real parrot. Crazy. Just crazy. Where do my paintings end up? All over the show. They end up in Europe, America, basically anywhere. Singapore, Hawaii. Where else? Jeepers. Hello from Thailand. Where else do they go? They go everywhere. Wherever someone wants one to go. Put it in a box and I ship it. Thanks, Wolfgang. You got a great name, Wolfgang. You keep it up. I like your style. Popping on in here with your compliments. You legend. All right, let's get a little more movement into this bird. You're getting too much accuracy. Honestly, it's letting it down. Yeah, that happens, Jen. You know what I reckon about painting? Personally, I'm kind of lucky though because I can make paintings for the walls of my house. But work with me here. Lipstick is for lips, right? And shoes are for feet. Following so far? But painting, and the list goes on. You can see where I'm going with this. But painting is for feelings. And so often we let ourselves have burnouts, we let ourselves get exhausted, we let ourselves not have time for ourselves and run off thinking we need this and need that. But we don't ever cater or consider a lot of the time a buy and purchase or a utility decision based on our feelings alone. And if we do that, we'd find we had more stable mental health, more love for ourselves. So if you can, buying a painting's a wonderful thing. But the key to that is don't just think, oh, okay, he's trying to sell a painting. It's very unlikely that my art's exactly what you're after. It's a possibility, but it's unlikely. Find an artist you love. And I say love platonically. Find an artist you really feel a connection to in the way they make what they do. And then find something that really inspires you, whether they made it or whether you can commission it. And get yourself a pure 2D surface of feeling. And love it. Because that's something beautiful. It doesn't always need to be from the biggest famous artist either. High school, artist in a farmer's market, anywhere. But it's important. Who is he talking to? You guys. You guys. But a little bit of it has to be me talking to myself because I talk to you guys, but I also need to keep an eye on the painting. So I jump backwards and forwards. You thought he was talking to himself. Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. Happens like that when I don't check the comment section fast enough. That's completely understandable. Or I could have ignored your comment. And then you would have been talking to yourself. Ha! I would have taught you a lesson. There we go. There's a bit of green that's going to go in there eventually. Right now, some streaks that we want to dash through here. We're going to try something quite frisky. Quite unique, quite frisky. New brush. See that? A little bit wild. Yeah. But like a lot of the time, Jacinta, we disregard that. And we're like, oh, well, in that case, I don't need it. Because you feel like you don't have feelings. You got lips that you put lipstick on. You've got a car that drives. You've got a body that needs to be exercised. You've got a mouth that needs feeding. Ears that need to listen to things. We'd say it's funny how much of us know we love and need music, but less of us are aware that that's actually exploring feelings, but there's more than one way, or more than just music, as methods to explore our feelings. And visual is such a powerful element for humans. Exploring your feelings through something visual like painting. Really powerful. At least I reckon. You like the Statue of Liberty? Yeah. We're just giving that a little bit of a chance to dry. We'll come back to it. My favourite thing to draw? I like a bit of everything, to be honest. Keeps me on my toes. This is unique. It's a giant bird, but we're painting it quite liberally in all directions with the idea of creating almost a abstract landscape. Not quite, but an abstract vibe to it. But if I got to choose anything to draw, I think my go-to, and it's going to sound cheesy here, my go-to would be old people's faces. I think there's a character to them, a wisdom inside them, and there's just a really fun ability to capture something. Quite I think there's history in the wrinkles. I think there's character in them, beauty in them. There's stories. I think that's the word I'm looking for. There's stories in the lines on an aged face. Evidence of a million smiles or a million frowns. It's kind of cool. And then with a wide variety of colours that can bring all those stories to life in a single face, we can paint it, which again, kind of cool. Here we go. Zumba instructor. That's pretty fun. I didn't realize that. Zumba instructor. That's a fun hobby. That's bringing some joy to the face of the planet. There's no doubt about that. Right, let's get some magenta. Combine it into our salmony pinks. Get ourselves some strong pinks. That's going to be fun. And then see where that takes us. With just a little bit more of this. There we go. Lovely. Well, let's just jump on this. Pomade. It would be nice if it was witty, but it wasn't witty. So, it's not even remotely witty. You can't reply to it. Here we go. Just nothing to work with. Here we go. Wow. That is thick on the brush. Have I overdone it? We'll find out. Here we go. Perfect. All through here. Get that pink in there. Glorious, beautiful pink cascading around here. I think after just a little bit more, we might tap out and swap to one of our final paintings for the evening. Then we'll see how dry the statue is and see if we'll tag back. There we go. A little bit more here. Lovely. Lovely. Thanks, Ashy. I appreciate that. It's fairly different. Weird scale to it. Face sort of gawking at you. It's got a lot going on, certainly. So it's got a unique presence to it. And that's kind of cool. There we go. All right. We're going to swap onto our Lex picture. A little bit more egg in there. Chuck that down there. Next one's a bit of a powerful one. And we might need to grab something fairly unique. It's in the bag there. Perfect. Hey, Lisa. Yeah, doom scrolling the internet, eh? Well, I'm glad I could save you. Right. We've got a portrait we're going to work on, and we're going to go a bit wild with it. Who buys this stuff? Well, look, people from all over the world. This process, it's not conventional or realism as such. This is very, very wild. It's primal. It's raw. It's these current ones are made out of egg, which is wild. But the idea behind it is to just get some fun, get some joy and vitality, and try and transpose that onto a canvas. So a little bit of that good energy, good vibe can get captured. But if you hate it, it's a very good sign for me and for you, because if you hate it, that means it's got an emotional response out of you. And therefore, there'll be someone who has the opposite emotional response and loves it. But also, it'll mean that if you don't like it, this is a great thing. It's a great thing because it means that you're developing your own taste. And even though you're finding something that you don't like, it means that there is something out there that you will like. And you didn't need it, but you've got permission to go find it. So go do you, Mr. User. Let's grab the next one. Up we go. Here we are. Hey, Sydney. It's unique. What's unique, Connie? Here we go. Beautiful. I wonder if user hung around for my pep talk, or if he or she just was like, nah, who buys this? I'm out. Right. We're going to set up something a little unique here because I need... Your face is unique, Connie. Well, that sounds pretty cool. First off, congratulations on the unique face. And, I mean, we could. It does sound pretty fun. That does sound pretty fun. I can't make any guarantees, but, you know, maybe we will paint your face one day. Let's sneak back around here. I'm a hazard to myself. Da 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 din din. That was fun. Ashy, thank you. I put that one there because a part of me really wanted to see what a surfing penguin looked like. Now I have. So I'm going to go to sleep happy tonight. Here we go. Let's have a look-see around here. Stand. Now I'm going to connect this onto here, I think. Bear with me. Here we go. Screw this on here. Bear with me. Bear with me. A little bit more tightening there. That's what we're after. Spin this around here. I love the little penguin. That's fun. And actually, I'm seeing your name in here, but is it the first time we're seeing your name? Is this your first day? I think it is. Don't worry, I won't break it. I promise. I promise. Here we go. iPad time. iPad time. Do. Just been a while. All right. Well, I've been off. Blah blah blah. I've been off and on a little bit myself, so I totally get it. And sometimes I cheat on you guys and run off with Instagram and do a live one there, and sometimes 2 seconds later breaks it. No, I'm not going to break it. Go easy on me. And then come back here. Even done a few little lives on YouTube, but only briefly. It's not really my style. I like the portrait ones, so I can get the whole picture in here, standing tall, much more fun. I reckon. Now, bear with me while I scroll back through time to try and find this picture. There's a very particular picture I'm after. It's a face. This face, actually. And it's good to have the reference shot. If you can find it, of course. There we go. So, fun thing about this picture here is this picture's actually been generated by AI. Thanks, Sydney. I asked DALL-E, which is the chatbot image creator, to paint me, to create me a picture of an old man laughing. And this is the picture it gave me. Look, if I can get rid of the info. Old man laughing. Voila. Did a really cool job. I like it. Bushy eyebrows, big bald head. And now we get the privilege of capturing it, which I reckon's pretty cool. And I like the fact that it's actually no one's face. It's well, no one's face. It's simultaneously no one's face and everyone's face. So kind of like that. Anyway, we are going to, with my pinks and purples, pinkify it. So let's see where that takes it. I guarantee that probably if he knew he was going to be painted and the dome was going to be this shiny, he would definitely have worn himself a bucket hat. Let me have a look-see here. Or maybe he strikes me, if he was fishing, bucket hat, but he strikes me as the kind of guy who would wear a, you said Vidiola? You mean fedora? What time is it here? It is. Am I tired? I mean, a little bit, but these are just some chill paintings, guys. It's not a big deal. And we've only been here for about, how long have we been here now? It hasn't given me the 90-minute warning yet, so we're just ticking along. What would I call this style? Well, it's been called all sorts of things. It's been called silly, awful. Honestly, it's a bit unique, guys. The style is unique. It's very, very wild. And the goal behind it is we do want to make something crazy and messy with the goal of transposing. I don't want to always say like good vibe, energy, because these words like vibe and energy are sort of like buzzwords that can turn some people off. What I want to say is joy and vitality. So when I say joy, it's not just fun, fun, fun. It's actually just a feeling of wholesome happiness. And then the vitality aspect is just raw energy. So when I say vitality, I mean that kind of feeling you get when you have your first cup of coffee and you're ready for your day. A little bit of that. And so I try and get as much of that in me as possible. And then I try and make my brushstrokes, my style, my very psychology and attitude towards the painting, vitality and joy loaded. And then hopefully, after you finish, just like you can kind of see, I feel like if you do it right, you can kind of feel that the person who made the painting had a lot of fun. And that rubs off on you a little bit. And hopefully, people see it, get a little bit vitalized, get a little bit of joy. And if that's the case, mission accomplished. We've had some fun. Is it bedtime? When is bedtime? Probably another, we'll go past midnight. So another at least 21 minutes. You asked the style because you liked it. Yeah, fair enough. So if you were to give it any name, you'd say post-impressionism, modern impressionism. That's a fair way to put it. But I think that actually that term doesn't do it justice because modern impressionism is a method. This is less of a method and more of an idea. So I'm saying we could do it in any way we liked, but how about we approach the painting with a specific idea in mind of transposing joy onto a canvas? And if we achieve that, I don't mind how we do it, but I want to see a bit of vitality and a bit of joy on the surface, dancing, just playing. And I feel like we nail it sometimes. I really do. I really can feel like the painting itself has something cheeky in it that, I don't know, we can enjoy. Enjoy the live bloopers, yeah. Yeah. I typically find it's weird. It sounds like I'm acting it up more when I go blah, 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 blah. But it's kind of like a factory reset for me. And when I do that, I'm able to pull back my trail of thought better, which is pretty funny. So it's not just me being silly, it's actually helping me. Yes, Jacinta, you've been watching some of the videos. Organized chaos. Unless you've landed on that term yourself, in which case you are 100% correct. So this wants to be organized chaos. It wants to be 50% subject matter, so you can see a picture coming out, and then the other 50% just wants to be raw, chaotic paint in its most raw and rudimentary form. So we're constantly looking for more ways to make it more primal, more unbridled, more raw, more, dare I say it, chaotic. Yeah. And then just have fun with some color. You do it as well? Good. Yeah, you go for it, LJ. But I'm serious. Little factory reset, little blah blah blah. And once you get used to doing that in front of other people, first few times you do it, a little bit of anxiety. After that, it's just a thing you do. You don't worry about it. Okay. So you've seen the videos that say it, but you already had the term locked and loaded. Okay. Fair enough. Working with yes. Yeah, that is a kid term. Yes indeed. Wolfgang. Pink only? We'll use a little bit of blue. And we will leap across into a bit of green, but I don't think we need to for this one. At the moment though, lots of pink, which is surprising because you normally when I use this much pink, there's an account called Pink that jumps on. But clearly, they're busy this time. So they're missing out on the application of pink here. Here we go. Beautiful. A lot thicker now. There we go. All the way to the edges. Lovely. Well, honestly, I think a lot of the time while we struggle to smile, it's going to be quite cheesy, but I think a lot of the time when we struggle to actually, or we wonder why is everyone else so happy but I'm not? It's because we've neglected to feel our own little bit of pain. I mean that in that we're sort of taught by social media and society these days that you should just be constantly happy all the time. It's okay to have an off day, but I think we deny ourselves the fact that we should feel that way. We sort of invalidate our own feelings, which is ridiculous because if you feel them, it's true. Like feelings don't care about facts, guys. Feelings care about being felt, and if you feel them, that needs to be addressed, even if they are incorrect and poorly founded. Looking after yourself and feeling's important. And so I think taking some time to actually sit with stuff that's tough to feel allows you to come on back and actually enjoy sitting with stuff that's really, really good to feel. That's what I reckon. Your lives on your TikToks. An old man smiling. Oh, you talk about Icy. Sorry. Yep. No, I'm following. LJ. Yeah, I think South Park does it really well. Butters is upset about being dumped. And Stan's gone emo. And Stan says to Butters, don't you want to just be emo like me? And bury your feelings in a box and just be emotional and like dress in dark clothing? And Butters comes back and says, no, It hurts, but it's a good hurt. I need to feel it because then it'll make things that feel good feel better. So, although it's hard now, it's going to improve in the long run. You think, Butters, you wise little individual. Well done. So, what am I saying? I'm saying kudos to Butters. There we go. Let's add a bunch of this. Hues and cues? No, I haven't, but it sounds like a bit of fun, to be honest. Sounds like a little bit of fun. Let's chuck in a bit more of this. I've got a lot of this colour, so we'll slash it around. Turn some backgrounds pink. We can always splice into it with different colours, but the pink is just so luminous. So luminous. Here we go. Wolfgang, this is Auckland. This is Auckland. But we jump around. We go to Auckland. We go to Bay of Plenty. Tauranga. There we go. All up in there and around there. I'm good, Joseph. Good to have you here. Good to have you here, Joseph. You legend. Great photo, great mustache. I hope to grow on myself. But waiting for Movember. And yes, Jay Smith is 100% right, guys. There's a couple of prints, only about 6 or 7 available right now, but they are via the link in the bio. If you're interested, I'd love for you to own one. If you're not, totally all good, guys. Totally all good. There's more incoming, but there's a couple available at the moment. I love them. I had a couple. I've got a Mahalo, I've got an Aboriginal, Varanasi. I've got a, who else have I got? Farmer. Waterfall, Bangkok Waterfall. That's fun. Let's get a bit more of this in here. Well, Joseph, you're welcome to be here. And I'll tell you what, I'm not far off cashing in for some sleep, Joseph. So when I do, let's make a pact. Let's make a pact to knock off together. No, stop looking at our phones, curl up in our individual beds, and fall asleep so we can get some shut-eye. Man, sleep's important, guys. If you're able to do it, do it. I know some people have trouble, insomnia and things like this, but if you're able to go to sleep, God, get loads of sleep, guys. God, that kickstarts a day. Remember in my early, mid-20s, I didn't value sleep so much, but in my 30s, now that I'm 30, I really, sleep's good. Sleep's real good. Wolfgang, I love Rotorua. Rotorua, all good. And hello, Ray Monet. We've got a few lovely folks from Ireland who join in every now and again. Absolute pleasure to have you here. It lies when they say you age without enough sleep. I don't know. Probably. But regardless of aging, etc., I think I just like the fact that feeling alert and fresh, everyone's different. Obviously in Fight Night, the guy has no sleep at all. And he functions incredibly well. But for me, I function well with about 6 to 8 hours. If I get my 6 to 8, that's when I can put the best of me out into the world. And that's what I want to do. I don't like not giving the world the best I can give it. There we go. Lovely. No. So what I'm drinking there is a protein shake. That's going to add the recipe. I'll make a reel with a recipe soon enough, but it's a protein shake. And guess what? It's stacked with the egg whites from the egg yolks we're currently using. So if you ask if I'm drinking paint water, technically I am, because the egg tempera that we've got here, this is the byproduct, which I made into a smoothie. So we didn't waste anything, which I reckon is pretty cool. So there you have it. Wow, Michael. Days at a time, that's incredible. You can function, I suppose. This is true, Chad. You know, I always appreciate you coming on here with your puns. I should say that one out loud. 90% of baldmen still own a comb. They just can't part with it. Fair enough. Well, Ashy, the reason being that I'm left with all these egg whites. So I started adding them to smoothies. It's actually not that bad. As long as there's enough flavoring in it, the eggs are pretty much completely disguised. So I'm not too worried. 4 days away. 11 days. Jeepers creepers. I can't even imagine. 4 days or 11 days away. That's incredible. I mean, I don't know about your individual circumstance, but how can it be good for you? I mean, everyone's different, obviously, but it certainly wouldn't be good for me. I can pull an all-nighter, but that's incredible. It's yeah, it's a serious thing, insomnia. So not good for anyone. Well, yeah, everyone struggles with their different conditions, guys. We've all got something. All got something, and that's an important thing to remember next time you get upset with someone, is to be like, maybe I don't fully understand their personal situation. In that case, maybe I don't understand that the person I'm talking to hasn't slept in 4 days. No grey hair, wrinkles in all your teeth. Perfect. Perfect. Yeah, of course. I am 30. I turned 30 in January. About 3 months, I'm going to be 31. Which is pretty exciting. Pretty exciting. There we go. You're all good, Joseph. I'll catch you later. If you can't get to sleep in the next 15 minutes or so and you get worried that you're missing out, I'll be gone in about 25. Good age for you? Yeah. I suit being 30. I like being 30. So far, my 30s definitely beat my 20s. There we go. You're 48 now? Still in your 40s. Nice. A lot of followers here in their 50s. Fewer in their 60s. In the day, life's a journey, guys. Different milestones, each one important in its own right. And there's a beauty to that. about aging. Aging's no joke, but talk about people like Sir Ian McKinnon, who played Gandalf. He, Michael, my last name is Gower, but everything you need, link in the bio, Michael. Get you all sorted. In terms of him, he only really, I mean, he's been living a life, obviously, but he only really appeared on the scene as a senior. You know, we didn't really see much of Gandalf before he was Gandalf. I didn't really know Ian at all until he played Gandalf, actually. Then I started recognizing him in things like George Ezra's music video for that one about Listen to the Man. Hello, team. You've been messing it up since you saw my first live? Well, good morning. Here we go. I haven't had any grey hairs show up on my head yet, but time will tell. Time will tell. My best friend, he's grey. He's getting some grey hairs in there, but he wears them well. He's got that silver fox look to him. AI generated? Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. There we go. I'm going to make sure we don't just do little chicken scratches. We actually apply the paint in a way where one stroke will do it. One stroke's what we do. And down we go. Who is it supposed to be? Nobody and everybody simultaneously. I asked a robot to make me a picture of an old man smiling, and it did it. And now we're painting that picture. So this is probably a rendition of Dali's idea of literally every single human being over a certain age considered old, smiling simultaneously, and simultaneously being absolutely no human being on the face of the planet. Which I reckon is kind of cool. There we go. Phoenix, long time ago. Someone beat you to a question. Farah. Paperwork to do before everyone is up. It's, yeah, all right, Michael. Go do your thing. Da-da-da-da. Wolfgang, typically the dancing is when I edit the reels and when I'm outside. It's late at the moment, Wolf. Go easy on your boy. Let's just have a nice quiet session where we hammer some paint onto a canvas and just enjoy the possibility of what it can become. When we wake up, then we can attack it with some vigor outside, get some vitamin D, get some vitality in our step. But there's different vibes. Right now, the vibe is to hang out, relax, coat some paint, play around, and see if, after slamming around a few coats, we can't get a face to appear a bit more. That's the goal. The old Kiwi accent. Fair, fair, fair. All right. Last colour, team. After this colour, Sebastian's going to hit the sack. Here we go. This is sort of a luxurious purple. There we go. It's kind of beautiful. Kind of beautiful. It's very beautiful. The key here is big, long strokes. Reckless abandon. There we go. Get a bunch more of it there. Cut into that cheek. Down through here. There we go. Down in here. Perfect. All over the show. So see how we're not allowing ourselves to tiny little scratches. Longer, smoother strokes. And that's what creates that wonderful harmony across the work. Gives it more of a peaceful feeling. Someone well known presents it to them, not without asking them. Catch you, Ashy. Have a good night. Not without asking them. I think the fun behind a portrait would actually be picking out the picture with them and going on the sort of experimental journey, seeing what we can create together, using their sort of understanding of themselves to guide a bit of the painting process. I think that sounds like fun. I mean that in terms of the colors we'd select. Little factors like that. What angle we'd capture their face on, like with this gentleman here. We talk about this was a portrait. We've chosen not to see his eyes. They're closed, which is kind of fascinating. Because for a portrait, you usually expect to see the eyes. Right, let's get down in here. And down in here. All the attention now go into this jacket. It's like context paint now. What happened to the contest? We made it to the finals. But we didn't quite win. I think there was some issues. Some people were telling me that they had some issues with the voting facility. So that happens. But we did our best, and that's the important thing. We tried our very best. And I think there were lots of kids there, lots of families. We inspired a lot of people. So, what more can you ask for, really? I reckon it's pretty cool. There we go. Perfect. A little bit more through here. And that is our paint out. No, I didn't. But we got to the finals. So we're in the final four. And had a lot of fun. Anyway, that's the layer of paint on here. Statue of Liberty can have a little bit longer to dry. But we'll come back to it tomorrow. We've just crossed over from midnight. It's time for me to get some shut-eye. Thanks, TJ San. I appreciate that. At the end of the day, we wanted to win, but it wasn't what we showed up for. We showed up because there'd be an audience there. We could try and inspire some people and have some fun with an actual live crowd and see if we couldn't set the room alive with a bit of energy solely because we were painting in it. And I think with a group of artists all having fun there, I think we achieved a bit of that. Wolfgang, that is not what the stream is about. But I like your enthusiasm, but focus it here. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. They turned off the online voting for a little bit. I think there was a bit of a break with it. How do you know where to put each color and when do you know when to stop? It's just magic. Thanks, Jacinta. And Jules, lovely to have you here. And I will catch you next time. And appreciate that, Phoenix. Guys, I'm going to get some sleep. But tomorrow morning, if you're around, so in about 12 hours New Zealand time, 9 hours New Zealand time, provide the weather's okay, we're getting outside, back to acrylics and oils, because we'll be outdoors, and starting 2 commissions, Mardi Gras and a family shot. So if you're around, would love to have you. And if you're not, all good too. Cheers, Wolfgang. And see you later, guys. All the best. Bye.